All right, I think we're live. Give me a hot second here to check my signal, see if it's true. I've got some quick social posts to punch out, and then we're going to work on Spellpoint Sorcerers today for the color mana system that is already published on the DMs Guild, but we're going to be updating the entire system for 2024 mechanics, which are even better for MTG color mana than what the 2014 version was. So I am really excited about that. Yeah, okay, great. Yeah, it sounds like I'm coming through, so I can drop my volume down there and probably not worry about it being in the way. I just need to press a few buttons here for the social media. So I'm going to entertain you with my origin story while we go through that. If you're already familiar with this intro, then be welcome to skip ahead a minute, and then we'll get started here after the bump for about an hour or so. But for those that are not yet indoctrinated, my name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing games, I illustrate them, and I publish them online. And I've been creating content for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition since the release of Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica in 2018, I think, is when I published the first color mana book. Wizards started creating Magic the Gathering settings in the D&D world as adventures or settings to utilize in your D&D campaigns, but they left out all the color magic, the 5 color mana system, the mana points, all that stuff was left behind because the way that 5e, the way that WotC's philosophy has changed with 5e is that when you come up with ideas, figure out how to boil them down so they work with the mechanics that we've already built, so that they don't have to invest extra time and effort to create new mechanics that could potentially break somewhere down the road. So I don't blame them, it's just disappointing. So that's what energizes and motivates people like me to create systems, and instead of complaining about the game, we create the solutions that make it fun for us to play. So tag along if you're interested. Actually, to that point, if you are interested, if this stuff is cool to you, you're having fun today, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications, because we are here 9 times per week, either building books or illustrating them. So you can check out my stuff. We're the playlists for the color mana system and building the sorcerers is here. Here's a bunch of books I've created on the DMs Guild already. Check all that stuff out. If you think some of it's cool, you want to add to your campaign, God bless you. Thanks. Let's see. Martial Powers playtest document through my Patreon. If you want to support me on Patreon, that's great, but you don't have to. You can just click the Martial Powers button here. For anyone that's involved, you can just jump over here. This is the master document that we've been using over these sessions. So let's, I think I already have the Sorcerer. There we go. Sorcerer's already queued up way down here on page 134 of the documents. Who dilly? That's a lot of Mai Tai. I'm just checking here real quick. Yeah, okay, cool. We're coming through. So we're going to use D&D Beyond as a reference point here, but we've already translated the base chassis of the Spellpoint Sorcerer progression table here with your maximum amount of spells you can prepare, the maximum level of the spell, all the features that are current for the 2024 book. We have accounted for already in the mechanics down here. We've updated the meta magic system so that you can stack meta magics at different costs. You can freely mix spells known versus meta magics known. So like they pull from the same stack. So we gave you 25 powers in total, or 25 spells in total, which could be any mix of spells or meta magic. Here's your meta magic cap, which we list as sorcery, your maximum sorcery. This is how many points of mana you can spend on any spell at it. My phone's making more noises than I want it to. This tells you how much mana you can spend on top of casting a spell. So, like, for instance, if you're 9th level, you have access to 5th level spells, and you can pump an extra 3 points of mana into meta magic. In last session, episode 7, when we were here, are we on episode 8 now? We're supposed to be on episode 8. Did I list it as episode 8? No, I still have it listed as episode 7. I'll have to update that. The actual episode 7, we went through all the meta magics. There's, I think, a total of 23 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Yeah, there's 23 meta magics in total. The cost of the meta magic, a meta magic 1 means you spend 1 point on it. Meta magic 2 is 2 points, 3 points, 4 points. So when you're stacking your meta magic options, you can pick any number of meta magics as long as you're not spending more than your max sorcery point limit. Currently, we have a maximum sorcery limit of 5 at 17th level, though the Arcane Apotheosis may be an excuse for us to increase the amount that you can spend. We're still on the fence about that. I want to see some play with it before I decide that. But the mana pool basically is a mix between the color mana system that we already have implemented, the simplified spell points. It's 1 mana per level, so a 9th level spell costs 9 mana, a 1st level spell costs 1 mana. And so if you take your stack of, if you take all the spell points or all the spell levels of spell slots that a full caster gets in 5e, the actual number of spell points, spell levels that are allocated from 1st to 9th level spell slots is 89. So if you got rid of 9 points, you'd have an 80-point mana system. And then on top of that, the sorcerer gets the 20 points of meta magic, 1 per level up through 20th level, that can be spent by either breaking down spell slots and converting them into mana, into sorcery points, or vice versa. And so if you add the 80 plus the 20 equals 100. So a sorcerer has a total of 100 mana at 20th level, which can be spent in any way between spells and sorcery points. It's the same thing now. You're just spending mana to either cast a spell or modify it with meta magic, or both, if that's what you're doing. Yeah, so that's the basic mechanics of how it works. We've sussed out, and I'm pretty happy with all the meta magic decisions that we've made so far. None of these are breaking anything. There's more. Obviously, there's 23 of them, so there's a lot more that'll listen in the DMG. But I spent literally over a decade playing with meta magic in 3rd edition. I've got a pretty good feel for how meta magics in general can flop from 3rd edition into 5th edition without breaking the game. I've been at this for a good 7 years now, so I've got a decent feel for it. So be welcome to grab this. Again, we're down on page 134. The playtest is open for you guys here to make use of. Again, all I got to do is click through, and the playtest document is here. You don't have to be a member of my Patreon to access this. It's just commonly available. It's just a touchstone for you guys. It'll be a read-only document for you, so you can't make comments on it or like cut and paste it. But all this is going to be on the DMsGuild once it's done, and that's what these sessions are for, to build out these mechanics, make sure that they work, and we're having fun. So, in the name of fun, let's grab the document I'm actually using right now. Let's extract that. Let's drop down. We're good with the base chassis of the class. The meta magic works. Additional sorcery options, which is debatable. We may or may not keep those, but for now, this is the playtest doc, so for now we're going to keep them in place. Wizards gain all sorcerers. Sorcerers gain all the subclass features with the below modifications. If a feature isn't described here, it remains unchanged as written in PHP. Insert flavor text for the aberrant sorcery. Let's actually pluck. That's my 20-minute timer. I've got a little less than an hour left in my block. I'm just taking a late lunch to be able to kick around online with you guys. So I'm going to keep a tab down here. Yeah, we're 9 minutes in, so we're doing A-okay. I'm going to drop down to aberrant sorcery. They get spells. So let's update our business here. Let's get everything on tap. Let's go this way real quick. Hold on. I'm looking for stuff. Nope, it's not that way. Hold on, let me scroll up a bit. Thank you. This is what I wanted. Druid. Scorsner her. Scoresman. There. So we're gonna add all this stuff back in. Aberrant sorcery spells. When you reach a sorcerer level, in the aberrant sorcery spells table, I always have the listed spells prepared. Sork. Let's do it this way. Level and spells. Fuck that. Well, let's just simplify this because we don't have to make it too complicated right now. Let's just see what let's see what we're supposed to get served up, and we'll proceed accordingly. Right now, I'm just doing some cut and pasty type stuff. We're going to look at the mechanical changes as we go through again, just to make sure that everything is still jiving, because we put things together and then we refine them over and over again until we're content with them. Arms of Hadar. It's a decent one to start with. Calm emotions. Detect thoughts. Dissonant whispers. And Mind Silver. Whispits. What is a Whispit? I like that. Hunger of Hadar and Ascending. Evard's Black Tentacles, Summon Aberration. Give me a second. We're almost done here. Evard's Black Tentacles. Summon Aberration. And then Rari's Telepathic Bond Telekinesis. Okay, so telepathic speech. You can form a telepathic connection between your mind and the mind of another as a bonus action. Choose one creature you can see within 30 feet of yourself. You and the chosen creature can communicate telepathically with each other while the two of you are within a number of miles of each other equal to your charisma modifier, a minimum of 1 mile. To understand each other, you each must mentally use a language the other knows. The telepathy connection lasts for a number of minutes equal to your sorcery level. It ends early if you use this ability to form a connection with a different creature. So the way we have it built is as a bonus action, choose a number of creatures up to a number equal to your charisma modifier, minimum of 1. That you can see within 30 feet of yourself. You and the chosen creatures can communicate telepathically with each other. If using a language each knows. While they're within a number of miles of each other equal to charisma modifier, minimum of 1 mile. To understand each other, each creature must use a language mentally. Each one. Okay, so with each other. The telepathic connection lasts for a number of minutes equal to your sorcerer level. You can choose to tap 1 mana to continue sustaining the effect while you maintain concentration, ending when you expend the mana. Otherwise, it ends early if you use this ability to form a connection with a different creature. There you go. With one or more different creatures. Telepathic connection lasts for a number of minutes equal to your sorcerer level. There we go. Okay, great. Yeah, that's good. 6, Psionic Sorcery. When you cast any level 1+ spell from your psionic spell features, You can cast it by expending a spell slot as normal or by spending a number of sorcery points equal to the spell's level. If you cast the spell using the sorcery points, it requires no verbal or somatic components, and it requires no material components unless they are consumed by the spell or have a cost specified to it. When you cast any level 1+ spell from your psionic spells feature, it requires no verbal or semantic components, and it requires no material components unless they are consumed by the spell or have a cost specified in it. When you cast any level 1+ spell from your psionic spells feature listed above. There we go. So this is just a redundant ability. You just automatically get it with this system, but there you go. It's a freebie. Revelations in Flesh. Let's see how that goes. Oh, Psychic Defense. Psychic Defenses. We're going to just list out everything. We were cutting it short before out of respect, but that is not necessary currently. It's respect to the documents that already exist. Psychic Defenses. You can unleash the aberrant truth hidden within yourself. As a bonus action, you can spend 1 sorcery point or more to magically alter your body for 10 minutes. For each sorcery point you spend, you gain one of the following benefits of your choice, the effect of which lasts until the alteration ends. Oh, no, wait. That is, you have resistance to psychic damage, and you have advantage on saving throws to avoid or end charmed or frightened conditions. That's easy enough. I'm gonna crack open. There, easy peasy. And then what else you got? 14 Revelations of Flesh. Let's read the official version again. You can unleash 10 minutes, 1 or more points. You gain. Okay, each of these costs a point. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 options. They're 1 point each? Is that right? Yeah. So with the mana system that we have, you could do 1 of these at first, 2 of them at 5th. 3 of them at 9th, and then all 4 of them at the same time at 13th level for a total of 4 sorcery points. Let's see. Your body, okay, blah, blah, blah. As a bonus action, you can expend 1 or more points of mana to magically alter your body. For each point you expend, you gain 1 of the following benefits of your choice, the effects of which last until the alteration ends. Period. These are considered up to your max sorcery limit. To magically alter your body, for each point you expend, you gain 1 of the following benefits of your choice, the effect which lasts until the alterations end. For each point you expend, you gain 1 of the following benefits. If you expend the mana when you alter your body, the effect lasts 10 minutes. If instead you tap the mana when you alter your body, the effect lasts for as long as you maintain concentration. Persisting for an additional 10 minutes thereafter. I'm pretty good with that. Aquatic adaptation. You gain a swim speed equal to twice your speed. You can breathe underwater. Gills grow from your neck or flare behind your ears, and your fingers become webbed. You gain a fly speed equal to your speed. You can hover as you fly. As you fly, your skin glistens with mucus or other worldly flight. See the, and what is this, 14th level? Yeah, this feels right. See the invisible. You can see any invisible creatures within 60 feet of yourself. This isn't behind total cover. Oh, wow. By the time you get this, you can do all 4 of them at the same time. Nice. Worm-like movement in your body along with any equipment you're wearing or carrying becomes slimy and pliable. You can move through any space as narrow as 1 inch, and you can move and you can spend 5 feet of movement to escape from non-magical restraints and grapple conditions. That's pretty solid. I'm going to reorder this. If you get this at 14th level, you can afford to hold on to this. So as a bonus action, you can tap 1 or more points of mana to magically alter your form for each point. Tapped this way, you gain 1 of the following benefits of your choice, the effect of which lasts until the alteration ends. Lasts until you end concentration. To maintain concentration, magically altering your body. Yeah, that works. Magically altering your body. For each mana, tap this way. For each point of mana, tap this way. You gain 1 of the following benefits of your choice. The effects of which last until you end concentration. And then Warping Implosion. You can unleash a Space Warping Anomaly. Unchanged as detail pleaded. Once you use this feature, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest unless you expend 5 mana. No action required to restore your use of it. Space Warming Anomaly. As a magic action, you teleport to an unoccupied space you can see within 120 feet of yourself. Immediately after you disappear, each creature within 30 feet of the space you left must make a strength saving throw against your spell save DC. On a failed save, the creatures take 3d10 force damage and are pulled straight towards the space you left, ending in an unoccupied space as close to your former position as possible. If on a successful save, the creatures take half as much damage only. Once you use this feature, you can do so again until you finish a long rest, unless you spend 5 sorcery points on action required to restore it. Amazing. Yeah, okay, that's good. All this shit still checks out. All this shit still checks out. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Let's see. All right, Clockwork. Let's move into that one. Okay, we're at 23 minutes in, so we're still doing good on time. Let's see how Clockwork do. Add flavor text here. Features. Let's grab the list of variant aberrant sorcery spells here. Clockwork sorcery spells. Indeed. Clockwork. I'm going to be continuing this on. I don't think I'm going to get all of them done today. So we'll continue this on Tuesday, and then we'll go back through and look at the Forsaken Sorcery subclasses from 2014 that haven't been republished yet. We'll go back and we'll revisit those. Aid, Alarm, and that'll probably take us through. I reckon we'll be doing this on Tuesday and Friday next week as well, and that'll finish up the Sorcerer. And once we finish up the Sorcerer, weird, lesser restoration, protection from good and evil, protection from good and evil, evil and good, protection from evil and good. Dispel magic, protection from energy. Freedom of movement. Summon construct. Greater restoration, wall of force. There. 1, 2, cool. Now, in addition, consult the manifestation of order table and choose a randomly determined a way your connection to your order manifests while you are casting any of your sorcerer spells. Blah, 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 flavor text. Restore balance, and... Gank this real quick. Condition of the planes that absolute order allow you to equalize chaotic movement. When a creature you can see within 60 feet of yourself is about to roll a d20 with advantage or disadvantage, you can take a reaction to prevent the roll from being affected by advantage and disadvantage. When a creature you can see within 60 feet of yourself is about to roll a d20, you can take a reaction to prevent the roll from being affected by advantage or disadvantage. When a creature, you can use this feature a number of times equal to your charisma modifier, minimum of once, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a short rest. When a creature you can see within 60 feet of yourself I don't like that you know if they have advantage or disadvantage. Because I have to tell you literally every time that someone has advantage or disadvantage around you for you to queue up if you want to make a reaction to that. So I'm going to simplify it, and you get to decide if you think they have action or reaction, if you have advantage or disadvantage. Because you might think there's a factor that's giving them disadvantage, but they may have something that's giving them advantage that neutralizes the roll. I don't roll in public. Not everyone rolls in public. If I'm throwing 2 dice, it's pretty obvious that that's happening, but it's not inside the game for your characters to observe. So I'm opposed to that depth of meta knowledge. Hate me if you want. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your charisma modifier, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. In addition, you can expend 1 point of mana when you take the reaction to use it again. And you can expend 1 point of mana when you take the reaction to use it again. Like, your team will know if you have advantage or disadvantage. You don't, and you don't necessarily know, but given the game, you have a general idea of when a creature has advantage on their die roll against you. I'm not convinced that you need to know for a fact, though. Yeah, I'll go with that. Bastion of Law. You can tap into the grand equation of existence to imbue a creature with a shimmering shield of order. As a magic action, you can expend 1 to 5 sorcery points to create a magical ward around yourself or another creature you can see within 30 feet of yourself. The ward is represented by a number of d8s equal to the number of sorcery points spent to create it. When the warded creature takes damage, it can expend the number of those dice, roll them, and reduce the damage taken by the total rolled on these dice. The ward lasts until you finish a long rest or until you use this feature again. As a magic action, you can expend mana up to your max sorcery limit to create a magical ward around yourself or another creature you can see within 30 feet of yourself. The ward is represented by a number of d8s equal to the points of mana expended to create it. When the warded creature takes damage, it can expend any number of those dice, roll them, and reduce the damage taken by the total rolled on these dice. The ward, is it use a reaction? Nope. The ward lasts until you finish a long rest or until you use this feature again. That's mixing this with the monk would be fucking awesome. If you had any monk sorcerer. Monks use the same type of mana pool that sorcerers do, and they get them back on a short rest. So there's definitely gains there. But then on top of that, their deflect attack ability, as a reaction, they roll dice to reduce the amount of damage that they take. If you have a bastion, you can expend mana to create a magical ward around yourself or another great. Yeah, you could have a bastion of law around you as a mana supply that you would be able to use on top of your monk defense, deflect attacks, to help make sure that you push the damage to 0. And of course, once it hits 0. You can use your reaction to then deflect the attack and hit somebody else with it, which is pretty freaking cool. So, I think that Bastion. I think that's a really cool combo. I would actually love to see that in game. Trace the Trance of Order. Let's grab this chunk here, lift it. Cut. You gain the ability to align your consciousness with the endless calculations of mechanics. As a bonus action, you can enter this state for 1 minute. For the duration, attack rolls against you can't benefit from advantage. And whenever you make a d20 test, you treat a 9 or lower on the d20 as a 10. Once you use this feature, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest, unless you expend 5 points of mana. No action required to restore your use of it. You know what? Well, I have to check for sorcery points because sometimes they slip in here when I steal language. Max sorcery limit. I have thoughts here. Give me a minute. Checking for usage. Okay, so what I'm thinking is this this clockwork cavalcade, right? The feature, Trance of Order. You gain the ability to align your consciousness with the endless calculations of Mechanus. As a bonus action, you can enter this state for 1 minute. For the duration, attack rolls against you can't benefit from advantage, and whenever you make a d20 test. So this is a trance-like state that you enter, but the sorcerer already has a trance-like state that it can order. So now it's just a matter of of pairing the two things together, which I absolutely think they should do, which is the innate sorcery ability. As a bonus action, you can unleash the magic coursing through you for 1 minute. It's the exact fucking same thing, during which you gain the following benefits. Sorcery save of your sorcery spells increases by 1. At later levels, this increase equals to your max sorcery limit. You have advantage on attack rolls. Of the sorcery spells. I don't know why this has that weird. Equals your max sorcery limit. Innate sorcery. Okay, so as a bonus action, you can unleash the magic coursing through you for 1 minute, during which. And then we have. So you incarnate your innate sorcery features. While your innate sorcery feature is active, at the end of the 1 minute duration, you can choose to extend the duration by expending 1 mana and maintaining concentration on it. The effect ends when you choose to or you lose concentration. As an action, you can now, instead of using your innate sorcery feature, you can expend uses of innate sorcery to regain mana equal to your max sorcery limit. In addition, if you have no uses of innate sorcery left, you can use it if you expend 2 mana while you take the bonus action to activate it. So, innate sorcery. There we go. Innate sorcery. Oops. As a bonus action, let's do it like this. As part of the bonus action to activate your innate sorcery feature, you can also as part of the bonus action to activate your innate sorcery feature, you can also activate Trance of Order. While in the trance state of your innate sorcery, attack rolls against you can't benefit from an advantage, and whenever you make a d20 test, you can treat a roll of 9 or lower on the d10 as a 10. Once you use this feature, you can't do so again. To restore your use of it. In addition, if you choose to sustain the innate sorcery, you can, by tapping 1 point, you can also, you can tap 5 points by tapping mana. That's the word I want to use. In addition, if you choose to sustain the innate sorcery by tapping mana, you can choose to, while the Trance of Order, I feel like there's a line through that. Nope, anomaly. While the Trance of Order is, you can choose to sustain the Trance of Order as well for a total of 5. By tapping 5 mana instead of 1. There. Expensive, but super fucking cool, and it lasts forever. Or, you know, while you maintain your concentration. I like tying that to the concentration effect. Clockwork Sorcery. As a bonus action, when you activate your innate sorcery feature, you can tap 1 or more additional points of mana to main. You can expend 1 or more points of mana to magically alter. Yeah. To magically alter your body for each point of mana. Tap this for each point of mana. Spent this way. You gain 1 of the following benefits of your choice, the effect of which lasts until you end concentration. Until the innate sorcery ends. If you choose to sustain the innate sorcery by tapping 1 mana, you can also sustain any of the chosen benefits by tapping 1 additional mana for each as well. There. Now we're starting to tie this shit to their innate sorcery. And what we needed to do is make sure that you have the ability to spam innate sorcery as much as you want. And of course, the sustained effect is just lets you persist stuff forever, assuming that you maintain concentration. So easy enough. But yes, I am very much liking this process. This is so I can imagine there's a draconic transformation as well, is there not? I'm sure we'll see it. Yeah, there you go. Draconic sorcery transformation. So the transformations are now sequencing with the sorcerer-based chassis, bonding the innate sorcery to your character that much more. And since we have a virtual unlimited number of them, be welcome to spam them like crazy. Innate sorcery at first, and then sorcery incarnate at 7. So 1, 7, 14. That's how this is sequencing out. 1, 7, 14, and then 20. Your arcane sorcery is now permanent. You no longer need to activate it or maintain concentration. Subclasses, though you still must the number of uses of as an action, you can now, instead of using your innate sorcery feature, you can expend uses of innate sorcery to regain mana equal to your max sorcery limit. In addition, if you have no uses of innate sorcery left, you can use it. You can use it if you expend 2 mana while you take the bonus action to activate it. So that takes care of mana loops. As an action, you can now instead of using your innate sorcery feature, you can expend mana. The effect ends when you choose to, or you lose concentration. In addition, if you have no uses of innate sorcery left, the innate sorcery is not permanent. You no longer need to activate it or maintain concentration. Let's make this easier. You no longer need to expend 2 mana to activate your innate sorcery if you have no uses left. There, that simplifies things. It's not as epic as it was, but it's easier to digest, and it curves well with the 14. Where are we at in our time? Okay, we got time for Draconic. We can get that done. And yeah, okay, so we don't have any of the Forsaken classes here. So yeah, let's go ahead and resolve Dragon Sorcery. We'll call it for the day. When we come back on Monday, we'll resolve Wild Magic, and we'll go up here to take a look at, real quick, how many other sorcery are laying around that were Forsaken. What else was there? Divine Soul, Shadow Magic, Storm Sorcery, one, two. Are these? Divine Soul is good. Where did Lunar Sorcery come from? Oh, this is was this Kryn? Yeah, this is the Kryn stuff. Okay, we can modify Kryn stuff. Shadow Magic. Still valid. Storm Sorcery. Yeah, we'll come back and mess around with those next. So yeah, we'll finish up Draconic Lineage, and then we'll move on to the next bit. So let's fetch this first. I love doing these things, man. Converting this shit is so much fun. Legit fun. In the Draconic. Alter Self. Chromatic Orb. Command Dragon's Breath. Command Fear and fly. Not happy that fly is one of your spells when you gain flight eventually anyway. Feels like a real non-bow. Arcane Eye. Charm Monster. Legend Roar. Summon Dragon. Fine. Oh boy, there's a whole lot of nadas going on. Let's figure out what we can find. One, two, three. Hey Steve, how you doing? Draconic Resilience. Did we miss something up here? Clockwork Spells, no. And Aberrant, did we miss something? Telepathic Speech, good, no. Clockwork Sorcery. Bastion of Law. Draconic Resilience, there we go. Draconic Resilience. Blah blah blah. Flavor text. Your hit point maximum increases by 3 and increases by 1 whenever you gain another sorcerer level. Parts of you also are. You are also covered in draconic-like scales. While you aren't wearing armor, your base armor class equals 10 plus your dexterity and charisma modifiers. 2. Let's grab a level 6. And then we'll have 14. Level 6. Another beautiful day in the PNW. You bet, man. Elemental Affinity. I used to not go to like Emerald City Comic Con or PAX Prime. I generally don't fare well in large crowds because I don't see good. But I'm starting to think that I should start showing up and maybe even running games that I've been building. It's kind of a neat idea to have a booth there eventually, but I think I need to start just making it a habit of showing up and doing shit there. So I think starting in 2026, I'm going to start showing up to conventions up here. I think it's the right move for me to make. It's a little scary for me to commit my time that way, but I'm willing to do it. So that's what I'm going to start doing. Your Tron Magic has affinity with damage type associated with dragons. We can skip the flavor text for now. Fuck off. Oh, wait. Here. And then erase this. What? Wait. Oh, yeah, okay, there we go. You can add your charisma modifier to 1 damage roll of that spell. Choose one of these types of types. Choose one of these damage types. Choose one of these damage types. Acid, cold, fire, lightning, poison. Does that ever change? Let's do this. Let's do this. When you use your innate sorcery feature. Choose one of these damage types. You gain resistance to that damage type, and when you cast a spell that deals damage of that type, you can add your charisma modifier to one's damage roll of the spell. This effect remains active until you finish a long rest or use the innate sorcery feature again. Yeah, and we have the mechanic up that allows us to spend, that we can use the innate sorcery power again by expending mana, so we can spam it a lot, but it also doesn't have a duration. So you just have to trigger the effect to gain the benefit from this. So I like that. I think it makes sense. It helps tie the character into using all these subclasses now have a reason for you to use your innate sorcery as a means of activating other things. And since you can spam it and maintain concentration on it for however long you want, or otherwise regain uses of it as you will, and by 20th level it doesn't cost you any mana to use it again. You can just use it as often as you want, but you still have to maintain concentration on it by tapping mana, blah blah blah. This is going to make all these things much more useful, and it all ties in with what you're doing already. It doesn't eat your action economy any more than it normally would anyway, and it bonds the features more together to make the sorcerer a little bit more unique. I like that. I think that makes a ton of sense. And here's the dragon wings. We're going to go with that as well. As a let's go grab our language. Copy. I don't know why they didn't just do this. Either they didn't think of it, or they couldn't think mechanically how to do it, or they couldn't figure out a way to balance it. So that's just, I think that's just because it was rushed and they don't have enough people on hand to be able to basically design outside of their own box at this point. It can also cause draconic wings to appear on your back. The wings last for the duration of the innate sorcery feature. We're back. Granting you a fly speed of 60 feet. Of the innate sorcery feature, or until you dismiss them. Because you can maintain concentration on the sorcery feature, you can technically have it last all day as long as you're maintaining concentration on it. Keeping in mind, that's unchanged, no action required, and it's just anytime you use innate sorcery, so you can just have your fucking wings. I'm not happy about the fly speed from the fly spell that you get at third. Activate your sorcery spell. You can also the wings last for the duration of the innate sorcery feature or until you dismiss them. Ooh, you can let's do this. if you cast Fly while this feature is active, you can combine the effects of this feature with those of the spell. For if you cast the Fly spell, if you target yourself when you cast the Fly spell, while this feature is active, you can combine. In addition, you can cast the Fly spell as part of this bonus action, targeting yourself. While this feature remains active, you can combine the effects of this feature with those of the spell. Maintaining concentration on this feature and the Fly spell together taps 4 mana. There. Because it's 1 point for the innate sorcery and 3 points for the Fly spell. You get Fly at 5th level. And then you get this Dragon Wings things at 14th level. Fly allows you to hover. It's super fucking useful. This is going to allow you to retain the good shit from the Fly spell, which is superior to Dragon Wings. But Dragon Wings now allows you to increase the movement speed of that Fly by 60 feet for just 1 extra point of mana, tied to using your innate sorcery. I think that makes a ton of sense. You can still use it independently, sure, but tie the Fly to it. Your 14th level, you can cast up to 7th level spells, combining Fly with your innate sorcery and sustaining it as a concentration effect. It's 4 out of 7 mana. You're certainly able to do it. And since there's no limit to how often you can activate the Dragon Wings, yeah, I think that works. Oh, I like that a lot. Let's just do that. Better games, man. You can cast a summon dragon spell without material components. You can also cast it once without expending a spell slot, and you regain the ability to cast it this way when you finish a long rest. Whenever you start casting a spell, you can modify it so it doesn't require concentration. If you do so, the spell duration becomes 1 minute after that casting. You can cast summon dragon without the material components. Italicize! Yeah. Without a material component, you can also cast it once. Thank you, Timely Timer. I said stop. I said stop. Perfect timing. It's been 1 hour and 3 minutes, and we're just about done. We're going to hold off on Wild Magic Sorcery until Monday, and then we're going to revisit the Forsaken Sorcerer subclasses, Shadow Magic, and all that other stuff, and do similar stuff to it as this. So we're going to build all... We haven't built those out yet, so that's what we're going to do. So, but we'll get to that. So, and you regain the ability to cast it this way when you finish a long rest. When you cast the spell this way, it doesn't require concentration, and the duration becomes 1 minute for that casting. Alternatively, you can expend 10 points of mana to cast Summon Dragon without a material component. When you cast the spell this way, it doesn't require concentration, and the duration becomes persistent, which means it'll last for 24 hours. And then you can leave the 10 points spent as part of the persistent effect to keep the dragon around after you finish your long rest. So you can just have basically a dragon companion from now on. It's expensive as fuck to do it, but it's not beyond anything that we've already done with the mana system already, and it works. So, cheers. All right, hey, that's that. So we just finished the Draconic Bloodline, Draconic Sorcery. So when we pick up next time, we will continue here. I am very much looking forward to this. This was the one thing that was really scratching, like that was really sticking in my craw, like that we're not doing anything with the innate sorcery, and we really should, since it's a key class feature. Like the Barbarian has all sorts of shit that it does with its rage when you have a subclass. There's all sorts of rage options. The Wild Sorcery, since innate sorcery is the sorcery rage feature, it should similarly do magical shit. So that's what we're fixing. That's the thing that was missing from the subclasses. That and combining the meta magics together, all that shit. This is just, God, that feels good. All right, that's it for now. I'm going to bounce out of here. I'll be back Monday morning to do more Eberron art. Monday night we'll be on to continue with the Bastion campaign system. Tuesday morning art, Tuesday lunch, wild magic sorcery plus shadow magic and other stuff. Wednesday morning artwork, Thursday morning artwork, Thursday night Bastion campaign. Thursday next week I'm playing Shadow Dark with Wally DM, AJ Pickett, Fred Wheeler with our How It's RPG, and I think we have somebody else. But yeah, we'll be playing more Shadow Dark on this upcoming Thursday, a week from now. So limited Bastion campaign, and then Friday morning we'll do more Eberron artwork, and then Friday lunch, just like this, we'll hopefully finish up the Sorcerer subclasses, Revivified. So that's it for now, guys. Thanks a lot. Steve, thanks for showing up. Anyone else that thinks this shit's cool, like, subscribe. Check out the books. This stuff is linked down below. It's free access to see. It's read only. And it'll be on the DMsGuild once we publish it. So, cheers.